I want to remind everyone, though, that this virtual club, the Ironman Virtual Club, has so much to offer, including these super cool challenges that are created by our Ironman master coaches. And one of those very coaches is actually calling in now, and we're going to get to chat with him. And his name is Mark Allen. Mark, there you are. Great to see you, buddy. How are you?
Hey, this is groundbreaking. This is history in the making right here. I'm so excited to be here today. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. Just first off, I mean, you said it in two good words there, groundbreaking. But also, what do you think about this new racing platform?
I
First off,
think it's I think it's really interesting. I was actually kind of thinking about it earlier this morning. The athletes are racing each other virtually, and this is actually something that everybody does anyway in their training. Like when you're out there training, uh, you know, whoever you are, Marinda Carfrey, she's thinking about Daniela Reef when she's out there training on the bike, or whoever it is. And so today it's like just another training day in the sense that you're thinking about your competitors, but you're also seeing what they're actually doing. uh, I think this is gonna change the way that a lot of athletes go about their training, because now they're going to have a real visual of, even though it's a race, they're going to have a visual of their competitors, and it's just going to be something that will motivate them way beyond today's competition.
Now, Mark, you're one of the Ironman master coaches. You've been sharing your passion and knowledge with athletes, and you're taking the extra step in designing some of these weekly challenges. Can you tell us about that process and some of the challenges that you've come up with for some of the athletes that have joined that platform?
Yeah, a lot of what we're doing with the challenges, myself and the other master coaches, Matt Dixon, Dave Scott, Lance Watson, Paul Newby Frazier, we are just trying to put together challenges that are they're fun commitments that people can make to their training. They get a little flavor of the things that we like athletes to do, like a weekend challenge or a 5-day challenge, and it's just a way to kind of give yourself a little consistency in your training, maybe spice things up a little bit, do something with your cycling and running that maybe you hadn't thought of doing on your own. And I think people are going to love it, because it's not only a personal challenge that you can do on your time in your house, outside wherever you live, individually, but also then you're going to be able to see how other athletes are doing on their challenges that they've chosen to do. Also, it's going to be a fun community that gets built out of this.
oh, that's great thoughts, Mark. I couldn't agree more, and I think you're right. How many of these women and men have already sat in their basement or their training room and thought exactly like you said about their competitors? So it's there now. And to our age groupers, would you have any great tips or pros for that matter on tackling the a VR1 challenge like this? Any tips you can share?
I think what people are going to find in doing these challenges is how to actually tune into your body, tune into how you are feeling. Yes, there's the metrics, there's the watts, there's the heart rate, there's the cadence, cycling, both cycling and running. Um, but it's going to be a way to really push yourself, at the same time tune in a way that's more difficult to do when you're out on the road, let's say, and you're having a you have to concentrate on curves and cars and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a good feedback for athletes to then, when they actually get out there and they're doing, their live training out on the roads, or live races, to be able to keep tapped into this thing. Like I always say, one of the best ways to get good cycling is to do it on a trainer, because you can kind of close your eyes, you can sense which muscles you're using, you can engage the glutes instead of overloading the quads. I mean, there's so many things that you can gain and learn when you're on a trainer, like these women are doing right now, that it's more difficult to do when you're out on the road and there's these other things that are distracting you.
Great
That's great.
stuff.
In daily life, triathletes are famous for juggling a lot, home life, work life, training life, racing life. Do you have any mental tips for some of our athletes when training through some of the hurdles and keeping a healthy perspective when facing some of the challenging times that we are right now?
The athletes that I coach, I've kind of messaged out the same thing to all of them, and that is to really use your training and your exercise to help you relieve the stress of what's going on, to give your mind a break from thinking about the situation that we're all in. There's not going to be a person on the planet who isn't affected by this. And the exercise that you do, the training that you do, is a great way to relieve stress, to just give yourself a mental break from thinking about things, and to do something that's really positive. When you exercise, that is a positive thing that you're doing for yourself, for your body, for your mental state, your emotional well-being. you know, Probably one of the worst things that people can do is to say, I don't have a race on my calendar. It's been postponed. What's my motivation? The motivation is to stay healthy, to stay consistent with your training. Maybe you drop the volume down, certainly. Maybe you don't do as much intensity, but for sure, each and every day, commit to doing some kind of training so that you do it and you're like, okay, I think I can handle this now. Yeah, you know, the stores are crowded, or maybe they don't have the things that I need right now. Maybe my job is being done from home, or maybe a lot of people, they don't even have a job at the moment. Do that one thing that you can do for yourself, and that is to exercise. That's a good thing, a positive thing that you can do. And as you both said, the virtual challenges are great ways to say, okay, not only am I going to train, but I'm going to commit to doing one of those challenges each and every week, so that I'm part of something that's positive, that's good, that's consistent, that is doing something for the community of athletes that we have out there.
Those are great tips, Mark. I love every one of them, and I'm following them myself. I think these little markers or little race sets, I mean, they're great. They also give you something to aim for. So keep your training going, little tests. Mark, I'm going to segue. I'm going to turn right here in the conversation. Tell me this. Who are your picks? Who's going to win it today of these four women? Angela, Miranda, Jeannie, or Jocelyn? You got a pretty good odds of figuring this one out.
Well, I don't know. Angela is she's a tough cookie on the bike. But
So is that your pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her my pick. I've known her for many years. You know, where she is in her training right now, I don't know, but she's been one of the toughest on the bike anywhere. The interesting thing is that because they are on trainers, it's going to take out any kind of advantage that somebody could get from the equipment that they're riding. So, you could be riding on your beach cruiser, right? And you could you could actually win this thing because you don't have aerodynamics, um, you don't have somebody else has a lighter bike or whatever it is. The really interesting thing on this, though, is that because there's not aerodynamics, somebody maybe who is more efficient, let's say like Miranda right here, sitting up compared to being in the aero bars, it's going to take that aero advantage out. And so I think it's going to be whoever really just can generate the most raw power.
So then looking forward to our race tomorrow with the men, Bradley White, Justin Metzler, Joe Gambles, and Patrick Lange. Who's your favorite for tomorrow's race?
Oh boy. Well, Bradley's, he's an Xterra champion. I would maybe give it to him just because this is going to be about raw power, and anybody who can win an Xterra World Championship, they know how to generate power on a mountain bike, going up hills. And let's say, I mean, two-time world champion Patrick Lange, he can outrun anybody, but on the bike, I think he'll have a hard time sort of keeping up, if you want to say keeping up on this one.
What great picks, Mark. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you and hear your insight. I look forward to hopefully many more of these and to seeing you in the future. So thanks for your time. I'll let you get out there and maybe ride the trainer or go for a run yourself.
Hey, be safe, be healthy, everybody.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.